Tonight, Louis Gossett Jr. stars as Gideon Oliver.
A pure tone. Very pure tone.
And what the scarecrow supposed to be?
7 dead.
7 dead? 7 dead means what? A body count?
7 dead was a Mapuche god, very much like his Mayan counterpart. The two cultures share much in common. 7 death challenged another Mapuche god, 7 Hunapar and his twin, 1 Hunapar, to a ball game in the park of Xibalba. But on the way to the game, they had to pass some tests. 7 Hunapar and his twin failed the 3rd test, the night in the dark house. 7 death killed them and buried them at the place of the ball game sacrifice.
Which is the site of your archaeological dig. Dr. Dulles, can we see your permit to work that site?
I'm sure I have it around here somewhere.
Wasn't your permit revoked?
I don't remember.
I guess you were seen at the site yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Which means you have violated all half a dozen laws. How old is this?
400, perhaps 500 years.
A museum piece. Why isn't it in a museum with the others you found? Perhaps you intended to bring it to the museum in a day or two?
Yes, in a day or two.
But I'm sure you registered the file with the government. You did register the bell. Didn't you, Dr. Dulles?
No.
Can I have your passport? Please.
Pre-Columbian gold bells. From Peter's digs in Coramaya?
One for each of the 14 lords of the Xibalba, the Mapuche underworld.
Ah, right. One death, skull scepter, blood the gatherer. Like trying to remember the 7 dwarfs.
Or the actors in the Magnificent Seven.
Do you remember Ocean's 11?
Oh, Sinatra, Lawford, Joey Bishop. Remember when we were in graduate school?
The West End.
Betting each other beers, we couldn't remember the actors' names. Peter never made a mistake.
Right.
Peter was supposed to have been back from Coramaya 6 weeks ago.
Ah, when he went to Ladakh, he didn't get in touch with you for 6 months.
Jaime Benitez.
Jaime Benitez? Didn't the new government kill him?
You mean disappeared him? Amnesty International made a fuss about that coup. So when Jaime left office, the colonels let him live.
House arrest.
But he managed to get word to me about Peter. Said he hadn't been heard from or seen for months.
Another one with the disappeared.
I've pulled every string. I've called everyone we know in Washington. Even had O'Rourke at the Times check with their stringers down there. Spending a lot of time with the curator of the National Museum, Carlotta Guzman.
Unfair? Peter?
No, I guess not. I'm sure he's okay. He's probably out at the dig.
You know, I've always hated New York in February. Not enough sun.
Señor Taxi. Taxi. I went to America when I was a young man. I traveled from Texas to New York City. Everywhere people said, you are from Coramaya. What is Coramaya like? Here we are, senor. Hey, tell me. Do you think Senor Steinbrenner will bring back Senor Bill Martin?
Gideon Oliver.
Senor Gideon, Hector Suarez. I'm at your service. You sure you don't want to go to the hotel now?
No. I'm gonna check on my friend first.
Friend. He's a learned man.
He came to study the Shibal Okot.
What?
That's Mapuche, for the dance of the devil.
Ah. He's a politician.
No. But maybe some other people made the same mistake about him.
I'll be here when you want me.
Don't even bother. There's no room in the inn. You can bunk with me. How are you?
Famine, war, pestilence, and death, and Drew Lord. I'm going to think you're the fifth horseman of the apocalypse, man.
Conscience of the world, my friend.
Oh, you get modest in your old age. You used to be the conscience of America.
Come on. Get some people up to me over here. How you been, man? You look great.
Oh, I'm hanging in there.
Stanley Carmen, who is under the illusion of that the articles in which I file are merely extended captions of his pictures. Dewitt, Reese, import-export business.
Risto Eklund, the Swedish news agency, only speaks Swedish.
Doesn't understand a word anybody says down here.
Good dog. Good dog.
He's the ideal reporter. Doesn't get confused by the facts.
Oh, and Matt Gallagher works with Reese.
Import, export, huh?
Okay, so I'm not fooling anyone. It gives me something to stick on my business cards.
And Reese is one of the good guys. He joined the company as a Stevenson Democrat.
The Knights of Alan Douglas's Round Table. What do you think now?
Nations are always going to compete. And they use us. It's still a good alternative to all-out war or this.
And you?
Who is this joker? Oh, you can trust him. He's a professor. I've known Gideon for,
Graduate school, buddy.
And now you're down here doing seminars, right, Professor?
Right.
Matt gets a little testy when he has to wait around.
What's he waiting for?
Same thing we all are. Collapse of the government.
Or the collapse of the rebels.
And right now, I could go either way.
Well, half the weapons in town are empty anyhow.
They fooled me.
Well, they fooled a lot of people, but not for long. Forteza.
Coramaya's president?
Oh, yeah, he's a real humanitarian. Refuses to allow the Costco's to torture anybody under the age of 6.
What about your friends downstairs?
Reese and Gallagher?
Yeah.
Observers. Hey, the truth, for once, Washington's being smart and let the locals work it out themselves.
Well, which side's going to win?
I would say flip of the coin.
When the coin comes down?
What difference does it make? Heads or tails, we're going to be there to pick up the pieces. guess the government didn't like my last dispatch.
Visit from the Cascos?
I don't know why they aren't satisfied with just a letter to the editor.
What did that stewardess say? Visit Sunbright San Marcos.
If something doesn't happen here soon, this place is gonna bust apart.
This isn't considered busting apart?
This? This is nothing. I'm talking last plane out, be on it. So what are you doing here, Gideon?
You remember Peter Douglas? He disappeared.
Sure I do. As a matter of fact, I saw him a couple weeks ago drive off with some of the Costco's. He, Here, drop this.
It's the 86 series. Peter gave me my hat and I gave him his. Now, if I had dropped my hat, I'd stop and get it if I could. And if Peter dropped his hat, he'd stop and get it if he could.
What is this?
This is a receipt from a photo shop for 2 rolls of film. Do you know a woman by the name of Carlotta Guzman?
The Spider Lady. She's the smartest and she's the most unpredictable lady in Coramaya, and I would suggest you staying away from her.
Thanks for the advice.
You're welcome.
Perfecto, más que preparadito, un poco más. Siempre elegante, 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 elegante. Los labios. Señora, no sé si hace usted en este museo, pero es usted modelo en Nueva York.
Gracias por el cumplido.
Perfecto, ya lo tenemos. Gracias por todo, ¿eh?
Carlotta Guzman?
Yes.
I have been told that you're the one person in all of Coramaya that I should not fail to meet. My name is Gideon Oliver.
Peter? Politics didn't mean a thing to him. I don't think he even realized there was a civil war going on in this country. He just walked through the chaos in his high-top sneakers.
You know what he was working on?
The museum is gold bells, representing 7 of the 14 lords of the Mapuche underworld. Peter was working on locating the missing 7 until the government revoked his right to work. After that, he was just making arrangements to go home.
How well did you know him?
We had dinner regularly, once a week, Wednesdays. We talked about his work, my work.
Well, he didn't do a lot of modeling.
International attention means international money, Professor Oliver. Obviously, I would do anything to get my museum attention. I love my country, and this museum is my country's memory.
And the Cascos?
Are here to protect that memory. Someday the Civil War will be over. I want us to be able to see what we were.
You were a free country. I only hope that what you become is not too different from what you were.
Even if there was something I could do to help you, Dr. Oliver, Washington wouldn't let me. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
According to some of its critics, that sounds like the United States government's policy on human rights violations, Mr. Cort.
Well, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all, as my grandmother used to tell me.
Well, it's comforting to know that the State Department is run according to your grandmother's advice.
You had a chance to look around San Marcos, Dr. Oliver? You see what's happening in this country? There's no civil order. The only people who know what's going on are the death squads.
I don't suppose they caught, right?
You want to talk to Arache, their leader? Even the president, Forteza, is afraid of him. You like science fiction films, Dr. Oliver?
Yeah.
There was one made in the 50s, Forbidden Planet.
Robbie the Robot.
That's it. That's the one. Well, the ruler of the planet, he was very civilized, very sane.
He created a monster from his dark impulses, right?
The creature from the id. Well, Arache is the creature from Forteza's id.
How can I find Arache?
You keep asking questions about your friend, and he'll find you.
Hey, how far is it to Cadilla de Oro?
Peter's Dig?
Yeah.
I'm not going to Peter's Dig, Gideon. You go to... What are you doing? Are you crazy? You go to Peter's Dig, you go by yourself. And you know why? Because you do this to me every time we get together. You remember in Goa? I followed you up to Harambe. We ended up stranded for days. In Hong Kong, let's go check out the public housing in Kangtung, you said. And we ended up in jail. And Rishiki said, let's go chase after some crazy sad dude. Remember that? And we ended up in some crazy fake magic cult.
They got us out here with no pass. Do you know what will happen to us?
Don't arouse his curiosity.
Cadilla de Oro.
Oh, white. So this is where they used to sacrifice their enemies.
Not just their enemies.
So, what is this, a barbecue pit?
Looks like it could be a cenote. If you dig down deep enough, you'll probably find skeletons of boys and girls who had their hearts cut out. At one point, the Mapuches revered the cenotes the way we revered sacred sites of Jerusalem. See you, Oven.
My father says you were looking for a man who worked at the temple site.
You speak English?
Some of us, the younger men, for San Marcos every year, work there. I work for American Oil Company, a rigger.
You remember a man who worked at the temple site?
Senor Peter? My father, Thomas. Senor Peter asked him many questions. My father make picture on clothing, in the old way. And he's a bell maker, a gold maker. Senor Peter want to know how my father worked. But Senor Peter, he's a good man. But how can I say? He's cruel without knowing he is. It's like he's trying to make something dead to live again. He does not let the past to be past.
Comes trouble.
Dr. Oliver. Lazarus, Arache. I've heard about you.
I've heard about you, too.
This is Arturo Lopez. Commandant Lopez is the deputy secretary of this province.
You have no permission for being in this place.
Tell me about Peter Douglas.
A troublemaker.
When was the last time you saw him?
Saw him? I have never seen him.
You've come to visit one of our national treasures. What intrigues you most about this site? The archaeological finds? The natural beauty of the surroundings? Or that it's off limits?
What intrigues me most is that Peter Douglas worked here.
Dr. Douglas is a remarkable man. I find remarkable men interesting. I want to know what made them remarkable. What formed their character. There are so few of us in the world.
Peter's nothing like you.
What do you mean?
He makes dead people live.
Dr. Oliver, go home.
To the hotel?
To New York.
checked the radiator water before we left the village. At least I think I did.
Way to go, Hector. Way to go.
Prensa, amigo, prensa! Wait!
Gideon, don't be a fool.
He's not going to shoot anyone. Oh! I forgot he had another option.
Silencio. Identificaciones.
Vamos, ayuden a empujar.
Why does to push?
They didn't even say thank you.
Drugs?
Bloodgatherer, the fourth lord of the Mapuche underworld, presides over the banquets of the gods.
So what do you think this little baby's worth?
That's priceless if it's real.
So how do you tell if it's real?
It's hard to do with the naked eye. I need a loupe or a magnifying glass. It's made of a gold-copper alloy called tumbaga.
So if it's real, what are we talking about? 6 figures?
Drew, don't even think about it.
I always figured that I'd end up 65 years old eating cat food out of a can in an SRO hotel in New York. We could sell this, you know, to a museum in the States, to a collector. This could be my pension.
You know, I spend my whole life making sure jerks like you don't walk off with national treasures.
I'm just trying to protect the stuff, Gideon.
Senor Oliver?
Yes?
Some fishermen at Punta Playa found the body of your friend Peter Douglas.
He was found in the rocks below.
What was he doing here?
It is a beautiful place, no?
Peaceful, serene.
Perhaps he came here to meditate.
Before he jumped?
To prepare himself. To pray.
Peter wouldn't kill himself?
From my brief encounters with you, Dr. Oliver, I would say you do not allow enough for the irrational elements in life.
Even the irrational has a logic of its own.
You know the poetry of Federico Garcia Lorca? A poem called The Faithless Wife? So I took her to the river, believing she was a maiden. But she already had a husband. My father was a cigar roller, a hard-working, honorable man. He told me to love my country. Told me my country belonged to the people. I grew up and discovered my country was not a maiden. She belonged to the rich, to 20 families.
And you felt betrayed.
I will do anything. Anything. Eliminate any obstacle in trying to bring that faithless wife, my country, back to her rightful spouse, the people.
That's what the rebels say.
The bichos?
Bichos?
Fleas. Small biting bugs.
That's what you call the rebels?
Annoying now. But in the long run, not dangerous.
You're a real idealist, aren't you, Arache? Peter Douglas didn't kill himself.
I think we understand each other. Don't you, Dr. Oliver?
What did you find out?
Found out that what happened to my friend isn't all that different from what's happening in your country. What happened? Where are my belongings? ¿Dónde está mi equipaje?
No lo sé.
¿Dónde está señor Drew?
No lo sé.
Your belongings are safe in my office.
At Drew's?
He must have taken them when he checked out.
Checked out? He wasn't supposed to check out. He didn't say anything to me. Did he leave a forwarding address?
No.
No message, no letter for me?
I'm sorry. I have a great many things to worry about. If you want, I can give you your friend's room. There's a waiting list. But considering everything, now if you'll excuse me.
Where is the gold Mapuche bell?
I assume with Senor Drew.
I would love to publish the story of Peter Douglas's death, Dr. Oliver.
If every story a newspaper man would love to publish ever got published, that's a classic out-cantante.
A prominent American archaeologist dies in mysterious circumstances.
With a congressional committee coming down here for a fact-finding tour? Right.
Does the government think it can keep it a secret?
No, but it can try to downplay the scandal.
In order to avoid any embarrassing questions that might be raised by the opposition press.
Even if I tried to publish the stories, Dr. Oliver, I have two staffs. I pay for one, the government pays for the other. My staff writes the stories. The government staff publishes the stories.
A creative approach to truth.
Yeah, the government is even creative about everything, even death.
Hey, Pigeon, what's the morning line on this action over here?
Oh, I lay it 20-1.
Got yourself a bet.
Is this a private game, or can anybody play?
I don't think this is your cup of tea, Oliver.
Every time the Casco Blancos grab a guy, Mr. Wonderful here takes the long odds, hoping that it might be La Pietra, better known around these parts as the Stone.
The Stone?
Yeah. Supposedly the Bichot's #2 haunch, the motor that keeps the revolution rolling. Arache would love to get his hooks on him, but the guy's invisible.
Sooner or later. Sooner or later.
God bless you, Gallagher. You're all hard.
Gentlemen, may I buy you a drink?
We were just leaving.
Another time, perhaps.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Trash.
From Milan.
During the Second World War, he was just starting out. He somehow managed to move between the Axis and the Allies.
A double agent?
Oh, no, much worse. Art dealer. His best client was Hermann Goring.
The end of your journey.
This is the only time I've ever wanted an airplane trip to go on forever. Being here makes Peter's death more real.
They're still watching him.
He was a decent man, a decent president.
Well, in this country, decency is a crime.
About the only thing I can offer is hospitality.
And the consolation you've already given.
Not to sound hard-hearted, Miriam, dear. But now, when I hear of people dying, I envy them.
Are things that bad?
For me? No. For my people, yes.
If you died, that would be one less reason for your people to hope. I found a receipt from a camera shop for some rolls of film that Peter left to be developed.
I hear your country is spending millions of dollars to tear down the American embassy in Moscow because it is bugged. I don't have that kind of money.
Which is why you like to talk next to that noisy fountain.
Time fountain makes it a little harder for them to eavesdrop. I like them to put great efforts into finding out how little of importance I have to say. People rarely visit me anymore.
So I noticed. I saw the car parked outside.
What do you want? ¿Qué quieren?
Senor Gideon Oliver?
Yes?
Please, come with us. You are under arrest.
Pull up a chair. Stand up.
That's what I like about your country. It's easygoing, casual.
Stand up.
Another time you're supposed to say, oh my God, what happened to you? You know, it's funny. I used to imagine that torture would be like the movies. Very precise, very elegant. Kind of an effete doctor with a cigarette holder carved from ivory. Very finicky things with these scalpels and electrodes. This cigar. Ain't nothing fancy about it at all. They just beat you. It's very brutal. It's like being mugged. Oh! God, that's the thing about torture. Oh. Afterward, even the comfort hurts. Hey. Go get sentimental on me. I told him that I found the bell. And I gave him Hector's name and yours. But they didn't find it. It's in the hotel room. Behind the light on the wall. Gideon.
Yeah.
I swear to you, I was not going to steal the bell. I swear.
I know you wasn't.
Oh.
And you would have handled it differently.
I would not arrest an internationally famous American scholar the day a United States Congressional fact-finding committee arrived.
You would have arranged one of your neat accidents, like the one that unfortunately befell Professor Douglas and brought the internationally famous American scholar to our country to begin with.
Presidente Forteza. Perhaps you would like me to resign.
No.
And you could run the country without my interference.
Just tell me what we should do.
We'll talk. We'll talk, huh?
Dr. Oliver. You don't look the worse for wear. Well, we're both in luck. I went by your hotel to invite you to a reception I'm giving your congressman. The manager told me the unfortunate news, so naturally I made a few phone calls on your behalf. Rushed right over.
You said we were both in luck.
Well, you got out of jail. Got one more guest for my reception. I like to sprinkle my parties with celebrities. Angry? Humiliated. Dr. Oliver, look, what happened to you happens to many people in my country every day. The Cascos, they're merely an inconvenience.
An inconvenience?
They're part of what we live with, like bad plumbing or inefficient telephone service. We learn to live with them.
Look, I want to find out what happened to my friend Drew Lord and the cab driver, Hector. I want to know where they are.
You Americans are so spoiled by your Bill of Rights.
Let's stop this car. I want to get out of here. Stop this car, now!
Alto. The reception tonight, I'm counting on you.
Thanks for the lift. Drew. Even if it was real, it would have been worth it.
The camera shop left these for you.
Thank you.
Pardon me. Did Senora Guzman happen to say what the dress was for her reception?
Senora Guzman?
Yes, she came by this afternoon to,
There must be some mistake, Dr. Oliver. Senora Guzman wasn't here today.
No, you must be mistaken. She came by.
Everyone in San Marcos knows Senora Guzman. She was not here. As for the dress, whenever Senora Guzman gives a party, it is always black tie.
Thank you.
Try Almeida's haberdashery in Avenida Luna.
And that the bell is in this condition is really amazing.
Yes, we are very proud of our national history. Now, if you'll excuse me, young lady.
This is my first time in public since the coup, when I was under house arrest.
Well, I wish I had an excuse like that to avoid cocktail parties.
You know, my greatest mistake was not to kill that man when I had a chance.
You really believe that?
Dr. Benitez, you know, killing your enemies is a lot like eating salted peanuts.
Yeah, once you start, it's hard to stop.
Hey, Dr. Oliver.
Risto.
Clafton.
Right.
Festen var jättebra, va?
Oh, yeah.
Vill ni inte dricka lite ikväll?
Drink? Oh, no, I don't drink. I tell you what, you go and have a good time and drink. I'll see you later.
I'm sorry, it seems you're being ignored.
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, I was just standing here wondering how a house like this came to be in Coramaya. It's not what I would expect.
Well, actually, it has quite a history to it. It was built many years ago by a wealthy Englishman who was given to two extravagances, gambling and women. My father, being something of a gambler himself, coveted this house from the moment he laid eyes on it. One night when they both had a bit too much to drink, my father proposed that they play one hand of poker. The Englishman agreed and put up this house as his part of the ante.
And your father?
His daughter. I'll always be indebted to a pair of tens for my home and my freedom.
Your father must have been some kind of fella.
That's interesting. My mother never thought so. Come, let me show you around. Who knows, maybe you'll meet some interesting people. Mr. Zinoffi, may I present Dr. Gideon Oliver?
No, I've already had that pleasure, my dear. I was just admiring some of your remarkable collections. In particular, that Mapuche bell is truly exquisite.
Thank you. It's very special.
Now, if you would excuse me, I'd like to get some more champagne.
A nearly perfect copy. Beautiful, isn't it?
Mr. Zinoffi apparently thinks so.
He has good taste.
Is he an old friend?
Casual acquaintance. Why?
Looks familiar.
He's one of the strays. International orphans, you know? They drift into our country looking for excitement, escape, romance. Which one are you looking for, Dr. Oliver?
Earlier today, I had all the adventure I want in President Fortesa's jail. And there's nothing in my life I particularly want to escape from.
Well, then you must be looking for romance.
Any suggestions?
An attractive man such as yourself should have no problems.
In that case, what about dinner? Tomorrow night.
Pick me up at my office at 8:30.
Hello? Yeah, Cort. Just got in. Fine. What's up?
Look, I hate to put a lousy tag on a rather pleasant evening, but I thought I'd better bite the bullet and tell you now instead of having you read it in the papers tomorrow.
Read what?
Well, I just walked in the door, and I found a courtesy copy of a news release from Arache's office. It was sent to all the news services for immediate release. It reads, San Marcos, Coramaya. American journalist Drew Lord was fatally wounded while accompanying government troops on a reconnaissance mission in the Virgo region, where rebel activity has recently escalated. The patrol was cut off and ambushed by Bisho militia and suffered severe losses. Mr. Lord, a veteran newsman, requested and was granted permission to accompany the reconnaissance team as he had done many times in the past. That's the end of the release. Dr. Oliver? Dr. Oliver?
He was in no shape to accompany anyone, Cort. He couldn't even walk. Those bastards wanted him dead. They killed him. They murdered him. Made arrangements for the funeral home to meet the plane in New York, and they'll take care of everything.
Don't suppose I could talk you into coming back with me?
I'll be home as soon as I take care of some unfinished business.
You know I love you very much.
Yes.
Well, then promise me you won't do anything foolish.
I promise. Now, come on. You missed the plane.
Dr. Oliver! Hola, Dr. Oliver.
Hector. Are you all right?
They threatened to take away my permit, but you see, here I am. If you need me, I'm waiting by my taxi.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Dr. Oliver!
Oh, Risto.
Det var bra att hälsa här, va? Hej på dig.
Have a chair.
Tack, tack så mycket.
You know, Risto, you are the one person in San Marcos that I can really, really trust. Do you have a good time at Senor Guzman's party?
Ja, fru Guzman. Hon är fin och snäll, den. Jag tycker mycket om henne. Men de andras, Cellini till exempel, den stora grisen. Den andra, vad heter han? Zinoffi? Ja, de två var ihop under kriget, det vet jag.
Wait. Cellini? Zinoffi? Zinoffi? I seem to remember 19, 20 years ago, there was a case. Mister, as always, a conversation with you is very enlightening. Have a cappuccino.
Tack.
Hey, det var gratis, va?
Right this way, Dr. Oliver. Our system has its advantages. The censors came in to purge our files, took one look, and figured nobody would be able to find anything. So they didn't bother.
Just a precaution.
Oh, no one is going to ask about that.
Just take care of your end, huh?
Uh-huh.
I will worry about the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Oliver. Well, I must say I'm flattered by your impatience. But I'm sure our engagement was for 8:30. And by the way, I'm afraid our plans have changed. President Forteza is giving a small informal dinner and insists that we attend.
Well, I thought our date would be a little bit more intimate than that.
You mean you don't find state functions intimate?
Mm-mm.
It's astonishing. I can hardly believe Zinoffi mixed up in something like this. Selling a stolen Cellini.
Well, it made for some pretty juicy headlines. But the ironic part is he got himself off by claiming that he'd been victimized. It ended in some kind of settlement. Never even went to trial.
Says here he's suspected in other cases.
Yeah. Sounds like a pretty clever fellow.
Clever enough to stay in business.
Yep. So, what's he doing in San Marcos?
Oh. A lot of the wealthier families are selling off their belongings. Getting cash. Dollars, if possible.
Assuming that the Bichots are going to win? That must make Forteza happy.
At this point, only one thing would make Forteza happy.
What's that?
Reversing your congressman's decision on withholding military aid.
And Arache. What would make him happy?
Having you on the next plane out of Coramaya.
You going to tell me follow that car?
No. Follow that van.
Dr. Gideon, please. I do not want to lose my permit.
Don't worry, Hector. Feel like a little air. You're gone.
Dr. Oliver, this is not a place you should be walking around so late.
See you back at the hotel.
everything is satisfactory. Just make sure it's delivered tomorrow before closing. What about them?
They have served their purpose. I'm late for dinner.
Vamos afuera. What if there's any problem?
There's a lowly town. A good place to retire. Half an hour northeast of Geneva, called Chateau d'Ay.
President Fortesa, you have such wonderful gardens. I'm surprised that you haven't filled your rooms with any of the flowers.
As George Bernard Shaw said, I love little children too, but I don't cut off their heads and stick them in pots around the house.
What do you do with their heads?
What?
After you cut them off.
Dr. Oliver, the president was joking.
Was he? From what I've seen of his country, I was assuming he was being candid.
President Fortesa, Dr. Oliver, is quite a joker in his own right.
Wasn't joking. May I propose a toast in memory of my two good friends, Dr. Peter Douglas and Drew Lord.
Dr. Oliver, I share your grief. My anger at the rebels is every bit as great as yours.
Why, President Fortesa? Why should I be angry at the rebels?
Well, Dr. Oliver, the rebels did kill your friend.
What did they?
Tragedy can cloud our judgment and lead us into making terrible mistakes.
Well, if we didn't risk making mistakes, we would never learn.
Tell me, Dr. Oliver, what is it you're trying to learn? What is it you want?
The truth?
Sometimes the truth is not pleasant.
The truth about what?
Why my friends were killed.
I thought you were trying to learn who was responsible.
Oh, I know who's responsible.
Oh, who is that?
The same people who are responsible for those mass graves in a photograph taken by Peter Douglas.
You Americans, with your overdeveloped sense of civil rights, always have difficulty understanding the position of strong governments.
Like the governments you were dealing with when you were a young man?
The Nazis did terrible things, but art has no politics.
Art dealers do.
Gentlemen, the Nazis, the Holocaust, that's all history. Atrocities like that are in the past.
Are they?
Who among us has not committed some act that he would like to forget? What is the line in the Bible about casting the first stone? Now, you accuse me of dealing with war criminals. Yes, I did. I make no apologies for that. Some years ago, I sold paintings to one of your country's leading gangsters, a hitman, I believe he was called, but a man of great taste and sensibility, as I'm sure Senora Guzman may recall.
Senora Guzman?
Yes. She just graduated from Smith and was working for my New York office.
I didn't know you were old friends.
I worked in his office for a brief time. I wouldn't say we were old friends.
Another toast to Dr. Oliver, who, as we can all see, cares about the truth above all else.
And you, Colonel Arache, do you care about the truth? No matter how inconvenient, no matter how embarrassing, no matter how damning it might be?
Dr. Oliver, are you making an accusation?
I would like to propose a toast to the country of Coramaya and a success in discovering and prosecuting Dr. Peter Douglas and Drew Lord's murderers, no matter how high in the government they may be. You seem quiet.
Quiet? Quiet? What the hell am I supposed to say? You accept the hospitality of the president of my country as my guest and then insult him in my presence. These are people I have to deal with every day, people who trust me. Who do you think you are? Where do you think you are?
In a country where the truth doesn't seem to count much for anything. What did you lie to me about Zinoffi?
My private life.
Private?
Has nothing to do with you. I don't know what the customs are in your circles, Dr. Oliver, but in my circles it's considered bad manners to be rude to your host.
Your circles? We're talking about people like Zinoffi, who has no problem dealing with Nazis and gangsters, and Forteza, who runs a government that allows torture.
What right do you have to judge?
You forget. I was in one of Forteza's jails. I heard the screams of the prisoners. I saw what your friends did to my friend. How many servants did you have when you were growing up?
What?
You came from a rich family, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, how many servants did you have?
A cook, a maid, a driver. What on earth are you...
Did you have to make up your own bed?
What?
When you woke up in the morning, did you have to make up your own bed?
Yes, I had to make my own bed. Are you satisfied?
Just wanted to see how spoiled you were. You care so much about manners? I've done what etiquette requires. I've seen you home.
Wait a minute. Please. I'm sorry. There's enough fighting going on without us adding to it. I know how you feel because I've also lost good friends. I guess I was just on edge tonight.
Well, I guess it wasn't exactly the paragon of laid-back attitude either.
Does that mean I'm forgiven? What?
Well, just now, you reminded me of what I thought you looked like the first time I saw you.
What was that?
A little girl. Playing grown-up in a mother's clothes.
I never was a little girl. So am I forgiven?
You're forgiven.
Street fighting. I think it would be really dangerous for you out there tonight.
I think it would be more dangerous for me here.
However, Professor Oliver's worst success came at a hastily convened press conference when the world-famous anthropologist described Coramaya's fragile democracy as a tyrannical, bloody junta. If my country really wanted to help Coramaya, Professor Oliver said, it should do everything in its power to oust President Forteza. Even if I publish this, what makes you think anyone would believe it?
Because you are the opposition newspaper.
Then what makes you think that I would publish it?
El presidente Forteza duplicó nuestra producción nacional de hule y de café. La defensa nacional de Curamaya Coramaya es la más fuerte de todo la América Central. Dentro de su perdido.
Sorry, Gideon, Oliver.
Yes.
I extended you our hospitality. Both my country's hospitality and my own hospitality. And this is how you repay me.
Well, I'm surprised that my inflammatory anti-government rhetoric got published.
What you say to my face in private is one thing, but to say such things in public...
Well, it is the disadvantages of the free press, unfortunately. Not true.
You deny this interview.
Categorically.
It doesn't matter. I don't know if you said such things, but in the eyes of the public, what is printed becomes true. After this, I cannot allow you to stay in Coramaya. First flight out tomorrow morning, don't miss it.
Before closing time.
Señoras y señores, el museo va a cerrar en 5 minutos. Por favor, devuelva su grabadora al salir. Ladies and gentlemen, the museum is closing in 5 minutes. Please return your guide tapes to the check room on your way out.
The museum is closed, sir. Oh, yes, thank you.
What about the guards?
There will be no problem.
We're merely rearranging the exhibit.
Rearranging from Coramaya to Zurich. Splendid.
¿Hay alguien?
Customs?
There will be no problem getting them out of the country.
Good.
Of these 7 deadly sins, greed is the most useful. People will betray their families, their country, even themselves for the most modest payoff.
Well, as far as sins go, I prefer gluttony.
And Lopez, what would your fatal sin be? I think anger. And Senora Guzman, from observing you and your friend, Dr. Oliver, I would suspect lust.
And you, Colonel, pride.
Coronel Arache.
An incredible copy. You could almost have fooled me. Almost.
Well, it appears we have 2 reasons for celebration. Our business seems to be concluded, and I have just received word from headquarters, to borrow a medical expression, that the stone has been passed.
The stone?
No, the stone. One of the architects of the revolution, whose identity was unknown to us. I would have preferred to have had him alive, but unfortunately he was killed trying to escape. However, the Bichos have suffered a significant loss. So, shall we go? Perhaps have a drink to celebrate?
Adolfo, asegura las puertas y pon la alarma.
Sí, señora.
Don't worry. Zinoffi didn't drop one. Must have cost you and your friends a lot of trouble to cast another when you lost that one. No, I don't understand how I could be so wrong about people. I trusted you. You said that the museum was a memory of your country. Were you helping to destroy that memory?
We didn't sell the bells to Zinoffi for personal gain. Money, but not personal gain.
Well, what do you call money?
Something to buy arms with.
Oh, that makes me feel a whole lot better. Wish I could let Drew and Dr. Douglas know.
It was a simple matter of art for money, money for arms. I was selected to arrange things because of my position and my contacts in the art world.
Some contacts.
The arms are scheduled to be delivered to government troops here at Airport Nacional tomorrow morning. It was our intention they should never arrive.
Whose intention?
The Bichos.
Sweet mother. Are you saying that you're in bed with the rebels?
Do you want to hear the rest or not? "10 minutes before, the planes were scheduled to arrive. One of our men in the control tower was to divert the planes to Santiago Airport, using the excuse that rebel activity near the airport made it inadvisable to land here. When the planes arrived, our people would be there to meet it and take over the arms. Unfortunately, since you obviously heard and saw everything, you must know that the controller was killed today by Arache's men.
The man they call the Stone?
We knew it was dangerous, ambitious, but if only it had worked.
How do I know you're not lying now?
You don't.
I assure you, Professor. She isn't.
What the hell?
Hector must have thought I needed protection.
You mean that he's... It's getting so I can't tell a player without a program.
Must you do that?
Come here.
What?
Come over here. You tell me what cup the sugar cube is under.
Is this really the time for games?
Find it. Now, it's called the shell game. I manipulated you into thinking that the cube is over here. It's really over there. Now, Hector, how many of your people you think can get together in a minute's notice?
The city's full of them, Professor. Why do you ask?
Because I've got an idea that's even crazier than yours. Cort, Gideon Oliver, I'm sorry to interrupt your sleep, but this is important. Question. Are the congressmen still in town? Well, I've got a little tidbit that you've got to pass on to them before the news breaks in Washington, which will be soon enough.
Like what?
Well, you know how Forteza has been crying poverty, how he's lacking the sufficient arms to put the Bichos away? Well, sometime this morning, he'll have all the arms he needs.
What the hell are you talking about? The guy's persona non grata. Right now, Uncle wouldn't send him a slingshot.
Well, I'm not saying where they're coming from, but I do have a hunch how the money was raised.
Where'd you get this from?
I can't tell you that. I'm not going to reveal my source, but I can promise you that it is solid. Look, all I can say is that a shipment is due between 4:30 and 6 at Santiago Airport.
Santiago? That doesn't make any sense. That's heavy Bichot territory.
Well, who knows? Maybe there's a change in game plan. It doesn't figure that Forteza would put on a show with the congressman still hanging around. Look, all I can say is if you want to be your horses behind, you keep it to yourself. But you're going to look pretty silly on the hill when the news breaks.
Suppose your source is wrong.
Hey, it's a word to the wise, pal. It's your party from here on in. So far, so good. Let's hope your friends are as dependable as they are predictable.
Okay, fine, gracias.
Thank you very much.
I believe a booking's been arranged for this morning's flight to New York.
Yes, Dr. Oliver. You're confirmed. I will have your boarding pass in a minute.
Thank you.
Señor García, por favor, reporte al departamento de cortesía.
Professor! Don't go! My money! I have not received my money.
What are you talking about? I paid you yesterday.
No. For the entire week. For the extra petrol. For my services as guide.
Do me a favor and find a tourist to rip off. Hey, wait. Hey, hold it. Stop him. He's got my bag.
It's only fair. It's only fair. He has my money. I have his bag.
Look, I paid him 5 times what he is worth, and I'm not going to pay him another cent.
Dr. Oliver, your boarding pass.
In a minute.
Senor, please. Others are waiting. Perhaps we can discuss this over here.
been invited to leave this country by President Fortesa, and I cannot wait to accept. And if I miss my plane because of this lizard, I may just let my good friend Colonel Arache handle this.
But you owe me, you do not have to pay it. I make it a gift.
A gift? Look, I owe you nothing. Nada. Zilch. Comprende?
Senor, I am so sorry for the trouble.
Please, Dr. Gideon, I cannot lose my permit. Here, I give you back everything you paid.
As long as you admit that I don't owe you anything.
I agree, absolutely. You don't owe me nothing.
And, forget it.
After all.
Teniente Espinosa, por favor, reporte al Departamento de Seguridad.
Take the boarding pass now. And another ticket in the name of Senora Carlotta Guzman.
What a pleasant surprise, Carlotta. Oh, I understand we're on the same flight, Dr. Oliver. Perhaps we can arrange seating together.
Perhaps. I'll pick up the ticket when we're ready to board. Thank you. Excuse me.
Are you totally mad?
Absolutely.
Vamos, ayúdale.
So what was that all about? The second ticket?
I want you to come with me.
You can't be serious.
Oh, I'm very serious. And for two very good reasons. If this business doesn't come off tonight, your life won't be worth a plugged nickel. And even if it does, there's no guarantees. There's always a possibility of a coup, someone wanting revenge.
You said there were two reasons?
Oh, we talk about the second one in New York.
I can't.
Why not?
This is my home. I belong here. I'm needed.
Look, you have done everything you possibly could do. The last thing that this country needs is another martyr. Besides, we'll never erect a statue that could do you justice.
No bicho, sir. Don't underestimate them.
Señoras y señores, por favor tengan sus pasaportes listos para inmigración.
Capitan! Go to the control tower. Find out how soon the plane will be landing.
Yes, sir. The plane has already landed, sir. And it's been unloaded at the Aeropuerto Nacional.
Give me the copter.
Excuse me, sir, but that's a private...
Just kidding!
Sí. Entiendo. Sí.
Esta es la última llamada para el vuelo de 463 con rumbo a Nueva York. Estamos abordando. Por favor, acérquese a la salida. Attention, National Airlines Flight 463 to New York is now boarding.
Don't ask me to leave without you. Don't do that to me.
Well, Carlotta, it appears to be that time.
Professor? In a moment.
Time to go, Dr. Oliver. Quickly.
I'm not leaving without you.
Go with him, Senora. Your work is done. It has begun out there. Come back one day when it is over. A safe journey home, Professor.
Even I don't know all of them.
Let's go.
Gideon Oliver, has he boarded the plane?
No, sir, he's been busted back.
Oh, my God.
She didn't want to come.
You think had she stayed, she would not have gone with you to the gate? No, Dr. Oliver. It's not your fault. Please. For her sake. For our sakes. Go home, tell the world what is happening here. Tell them the truth about Coramaya.
A bright and lively early morning eye-opener comes your way as Joan London and Charlie Gibson host Good Morning America. Tune in for informative and entertaining reports and interviews on Good Morning America, weekdays at 7 on TV 12.